All right, Brent Porcio, TopVelocity.net. In this instructional video, I'm going to talk about primary and secondary positions for catchers. So this is defining how catchers, or if you look at it, this comes more from a conventional approach with catchers, is to teach them a primary, to teach them a secondary position. The primary being, how they set up for the pitch, and then the secondary is how they set up for holding runners on. Now, I understand the concept as far as with amateur catchers, but if you look at elite catchers, you're not seeing that all the time. You do see it, but it's actually not as conventional as they make it sound. So a lot of times when they go from a primary to secondary position with the catcher, is they spread the feet out, they get the butt higher, so they're in a position to pop up quicker to make the throw. And here's the thing, if you look at the studies on pop time and how quickly you can throw down to second base, the energy you create from your pop-up position has a high correlation to how quickly you get it to the bag. So if we're already standing up, that's going to actually affect that pop-up energy coming off the ground. So to be honest, it really isn't a great way to coach elite catchers, would be primary to secondary. Unless you're going to coach a primary or a secondary position where you'll see sometimes elite catchers, they'll make more of a turn, right? They'll get in a more turn position to be able to set up, but they're still down in a good squat position. So that's the one point I want to make here is it's not necessary, and ideally I wouldn't want to teach a secondary position if I'm developing a catcher that I want to be elite one day. Because these wide stance, high butt positions really aren't good positions to create force and power coming off the ground. Because you're leaning, which means the reaction is going to be wanting to swing up, which is going to affect how your biomechanics of your throw. And then your feet are wide, then you get the knees in and everybody's loading in a valgus position, and out of those valgus positions, not really an explosive, ideal way to do it. So when it comes to primary and secondary positions, I want to try to keep them the same. I mean, if a guy's going to set up on the outside part of the plate like this with a runner on base, I'm fine with that. Unless, like you said, he wants to turn slightly just to help that's fine. But I don't want to see these high butt positions feet out. So I'm going to be against a secondary position that does that. I think that's when you're taking a kid who doesn't have a good explosive lower half, and you're trying to put him in a position like a tripod to hopefully make a quicker throw down to second base. I understand why coaches in season with the catchers that they have, they do that to try to affect the game in season, but I'm a coach in player development, meaning looking at them in an off season and developing them to the highest level or the next level. I don't want to teach them that. I just want to get them and train them to be more explosive from their primary positions, right out of these good, shoulder width, knees out, good vertical trunk positions. Like I said, with anything I make an adjustment, it's in a slight turn, so they don't have to make these big turns and throwing down, because I want to keep all that momentum going forward. So this would be a primary position for me. This would be a secondary position for me, and then up and go. Because a good elite catcher is not going to have to get into these high butt positions to try to throw guys out at second. They're incredibly explosive, and they can use all that power that they create in these low positions coming up to make them quicker and even throw harder to the bag. Which is really how you should develop yourself if you want to be an elite catcher. If you want more information on our catching programs, TopVelocity.net/2x-velocity. We have a bundle with our 2x Velocity program teaching you the biomechanics of throwing from all positions with our strength and conditioning approach. Plus, it goes on to another cycle of our sub 2.0 pop time, helping you advance those biomechanics to your throwdowns, your pop times, with also strength conditioning to support it as well. So check that out. If you want more information on it, go to topvelocity.net/prospect, sign up for the free course. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave it below.